Hello again everybody and welcome back to Fugit's Blitz with me, Fugit. Hello. Oh, what is this video about? Well, the other day I was talking to little Minifugit, my little young lad, and he said to me, nobody realistically, apart from one person, has done a video on an Emil II. Well, I said that's not strictly true. And he said, well, YouTube is only recommending one particular YouTuber. He said, why? I don't particularly want to watch that video because it's all doom and gloom and stuff like that. So I said, interesting take. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to have a look at the Emil II. Now, I must admit, I was quite shocked when I discovered this because I thought I'd done videos on the Emil II, but he tells me they're out of date in any way. It doesn't really matter because YouTube don't recommend them. Interesting. So we're going to talk about the Emil II. That's the Emil II there. It's a beautiful looking tank. And we're going to go a bit sort of a deep dive on this one to see all the ins and outs and the lovely parts about it. So without any further ado, let's have a look at its stats. Let's jump into the stats of the tank. Here it is, the Emil II. As you can see, it's got 2 guns, 1 turret, 2 engines and 2 tracks. And it leads to the Kranwagen. So it's pretty nice in that respect. And it's going to cost you 230 to enrich it. I've never enriched a tank, so I don't know. This is what the Emil II's overview is. Hit points 2,226, not too bad, just above average. Damage, just above average, 400 is your I alpha. Rate of fire is below, it's one of the worst, 4.7. Penetration, however, is very high, 265. The armor is just above average, as 117.7 millimeters in average. Speed, again, just above average, although that's a bit of a weird one. And rotation is around average. So, to a lot of respects, it's a pretty average tank, but it's not really. Survivability, as we said, it's got 226 hit points. Turret armor, where you can see there, frontally on the turret, 175, on the hull, 110. Sides, 70 and 80 respectively. Rear, 37 and 50. Chance of fire when the engine gets hit, only 15%. It's pretty low. View range for a heavy is not bad, 279. And the camo profile, not brilliant. 33% stationary, 28 when moving, and 8% when you fired. Let's have a look at what its armament does. Well, the armament on this thing, we have a DPM of 1,895. That's pretty low, to be fair, but it is an auto-loader, and that's the thing you got to remember. Reload time between the shots is 3.5 seconds. That's the interclip. Now, the auto-load time is where this thing comes unstuck. Shell number 1 takes 11.25 seconds. Shell number 2, 9.84. Shell number 3, 9.84. Resist the temptation to fire shell number 1. Fire the first 2, you're going to be fine. Fire the third one, you've got a lengthy wait time. There are 3 shells in the magazine. Look at the penetration. Normal standard ammunition, 265. Heat, 330, and HE is 66. And the average damage is really nice. On your standard ammunition, 400. On your heat, 340. On your HE, 515. It's got a pretty nice aim time at 3.8 seconds. So it's not a bad tank in that respect, considering it's a heavy. Maneuverability, top speed, wow, forward you're going to get 30 out of it, reverse you're going to get 20, with the average speed being about 27. The power to weight ratio, 13.1. That means it's not really putting it down very quickly. Weight is pretty high. Turret turn rate, 17.44. Hull turn rate, 30.8. I mean, it's quite slow to turn. Crossing ability, 99% on the road, 84% on the ground, and 64% in the water. So it's not a slouch, this tank, although a lot of people do complain about the fact it's not able to rotate very quickly, and people do think it's too slow. How does this tank compare to some of the other heavies in Tier 9? Well, it's the best performing heavy. There you go. It has a 52.6% win rate, better than the Type 68, and considerably better than that of the Conqueror. Well, there's no point shoving this into tank compare. It's an auto reloader, where all the rest are not. They're just standard shot. But for all intents and purposes, the Emil II is the best performing Tech Tree Tier 9 heavy. So let's jump into the Emil II's armor profile, because this thing is pretty stonking. It's got a rock solid turret frontally, and the upper glacis plate is quite nice, but it does have a low glacis plate. You can see here 218 millimeters on the top, 188 on the bottom, but 236mm on the turret front. I mean, that is pretty stonking. On the sides, well, the turret is 120mm frontally, when you look at it side on like this, 80mm only for the lower hull, and 71mm where the ammo rack is to be found. So side on, this thing is pretty weak. Moving over to what the profile looks like, well, that's what it looks like. This is against an E75. It's pretty difficult to pen it frontally, but you can get those cupolas and you can get the lower hull. If I then show you, it's like 270mm to get through that turret. And if I drop down to the lower hull, 271mm to pen the damn thing. That's not too bad, but the bottom glacis plate is really low, 199mm. Modules, wow. The ammo rack is in two places. It's in that thing that sticks at the back of the turret, and it's also in the bottom. You will never get the one in the bottom, but you may get the one in the turret. And the engine is the big pink thing that you can see at the back, and there's the gearbox at the front. So that's what the profile of this tank looks like. It's not a bad little runner, let's be honest. So what about the equipment loadout? Wow, on this one I've got calibrated shells. It just gives me that extra 13mm of extra oomph. I've then got the defense system, because why not? I've then stuck on it the improved optics, gives me additional view range of 18.3, getting me up to that 279. We then have the enhanced gun laying device, bringing that aim time down. The enhanced armor, giving me an extra 4%. Then got the engine accelerator, because why not? There's vertical stab again, bringing that aim time down. Then got a toolbox, and we've then got the eye-end consumables. Talking about that, wow, provisions, we have grilled salmon, just makes the crew work a lot better. Enhanced sandbag armor, giving me some more hit points, and the general protective kit. So that's basically what I've got with provisions and equipment. Moving over to the consumables, I'm running obviously the multi-restoration pack. I'm then running the improved engine power boost, and finally the repair kit. Ammunition, well, that's my loadout, because that works for me. So that's the boring stuff out of the way, and now you all want to know how do you play this darn tank. Wow, interestingly enough, we've got some replays to jump into, so without any further ado, let's have a look how the Emil II performs, and what tips we can have to improve our gameplay in this tank. Here we go, rolling out on Canyon in our Emil II. Now the thing is, the first shell, as I said, takes a long time to load up. The subsequent shells 2 and 3, not too bad. And you've got to be very careful with how you use your ammunition on the Emil. Now the thing is, it's got pretty decent gun depression, pretty decent penetration, although I didn't pen the Progetto there, so I'm going to give it another bash. As you can see, I'm bouncing the Progetto, and I get almost 400 out of him. I am not going to fire that third shell just yet, unless of course I can get a kill shot, and I think I can, but I can't, and I get the bounce. Now I've got to wait 11.5 seconds. I'm in a pretty good position here. I generally know that they've gone over to the C cap, so I've got to be careful. Maybe I can get something on the M103. No, I can't, so I'm going to carry on pushing over. I've only loaded the one shell. I really want to get the Progetto out of the game, but he's gone anyway, so it's not a problem. That allows me to now push up onto the M103. Admittedly, there is something over in the corner, which I didn't expect, and it's a Type 71. Of course, it's a Type 71 camping in the TD spot. Move up onto the M103. Hello, smacky. Bye-bye. So, we've only done 792. I'm not going to be setting the world on fire in this game. I tell you that for a fact. But I wanted to show you this game because I want to show you the shots next. Because the gun on the Emil, even though it comes with an aim reticle, which allows you to sort of zone in, the gun is pretty accurate as it is. So there's a griller. I'm going to load the HE. Boom, 510. Straight in, load another one. Boom, he's gone. And that's what you can do. And that's without the aiming reticle. So just remember that. Admittedly, I got a little bit optimistic here. I'm trying to smack the WZ, and it doesn't work. And now I've got to wait an eternity. 1,481, we've taken 2 kills. Just the Type 71 left. There's no point me doing anything other than pushing around. See if I can get some shells loaded. The FV4202 is going to push down on him. And we are going to be able to smack him up the back. Just like that. And maybe... No, we just can't get the next shell in. So we end up with 1,896. 2 kills. Not the best game ever in an Emil II. but it just goes to show you what you can do in the tank. It isn't that bad. Okay, that was a tier 10 game. We did okay. And the gun is pretty accurate, as you can see. We used the armor, we used the all-down capabilities. We lost a little bit of credit, mainly because we played like a muppet in real terms, because we didn't get front lining. We did what we could in that game. But let's have a look at another game to really get to see what the Emil II can do. Rolling out on Ghost Factory. Thankfully, we're up tiered this time. It's a tier 9, tier 8 battle, and we've been top tiered. Not that the Emil II doesn't like being in tier 10, because it's okay. We saw a tier 10 battle earlier. Anyway, we're heading out to this corner here, and you can see the rest of the team are already there. By the way, I already called it at the very beginning of the game. Now, there's WZ-120 there. It's a great tank, the WZ-120, but he is really far too advanced, to be honest with you, with everybody coming. I'm going to pop up the top, and look at that. Doesn't struggle with the penetration. Bounces the SM, bounces the WZ, takes the WZ out, and boom. Everything is looking good. We've already dished out 646 damage, bounced 720, and taken a kill. Yeah, I know. I fired the shot off mistakenly there, by the way. I wasn't intending to shoot the SM. I thought I was just lining up, and then I inadvertently decided to fire. But these things happen. Anyway, there's the SM's gone. Moving around now, I'm hoping to get onto the TS5. He's sat there nicely at the back. I'm not going to drop the extreme speed boost. There's no point, to be honest with you. They'll come around the corner, and I'll be able to shoot him anyway. There we go. He's all gone. So, 2 kills, next to no damage. Can't be bad, eh? I mean, the Emil II, like I said, for a lot of people say it's sluggish. It's not really. It gets you around the map. Don't forget, it is a heavy tank at the end of the day. And heavy tanks are not meant to be fast. Okay, a lot of people think, oh, well, you should be. No, not really. The mobility is okay in the Emil II. It's not as doomy and gloomy as you think. Admittedly, the turret turns a little bit sluggish when it wants to be, and we'll see an example of that very, very shortly. So, we're bogging around the corner, and I want to shoot one of these two. The Mushin's just not shown, but the T-34 will show. There we go. Nice 438 roll into his bottom plate. Keep popping. Come on. I don't want to overcommit because there's a Stargazer on a T-49, but I see they're too far away now. That allows you to move up, put one into the bottom plate of the Mushin. No reason here. Might as well just carry on going. Oh, is he going to pop over the hill? Yes, he is. Now we can just reverse back and just reload. I'll be honest, I was surprised the T-49 didn't push onto me, but he's doing a good job over there, and he's going to wipe out the my teammate is going down that side. Now we pop round, put one into the mouse, and he gets one into me, but we don't worry about that. 366 into his turret cheek. Just roll back again, wait for the reload. Yeah, I mean, I decided at the end of I might as well just get the damage farm a little bit, try and out where necessary. Here we go. Put one into the Stargazer. Hello. Oh, can we get another one in? We should be able to. We are spotted. We've lost next to no hit points. We've bounced 1,000, dished out 2,600. There we go. Put one into him. Now we can push on to the T-49. Now this is where that turret seems a little bit sluggish. Well, it seems that way. And it's me playing like a bit of a muppet at the same time. So firstly, what, eh? Oh, well, that was just bad aiming on my side. Now I'm just going to play cat and mouse with this guy, which is really annoying because I didn't want to. But you see how it seems to be taking an age for the turret to turn, and that can be a pain in the backside when you're dealing with a light tank. In the end, I give up, and I think, oh, thankfully he's running away. I don't have to run around with him. May as well load some HE and stick it in the engine deck and get 533 for my troubles. Because the HE on this tank is actually very nice. It will pen and it will give decent damage. So don't be shy in not using the HE, because when you've got tanks like the T-49 Hornet, which is lightly skinned and presenting the rear, I might as well load HE and get a good roll out of them. Same with some of the other tanks out there. Don't be too shy when it comes to the HE. Anyway, the T-49 is going to run around. This is going to give us time to fully load up. We are just trying to anticipate where he's going to go. And I'm anticipating he's going to go past that door. So I'm going to aim up on the door and boom. Get a nice 136 out of him, leaving on 27 28 hit points. Now you may be wondering why I didn't use HE there. Well, I didn't use HE there because I didn't think he was going to come through the door. I was going to fire through the door. And if I would have fired HE, it wouldn't have done anything because it would have just hit the door and gone, bye. So that's why I didn't load HE there, despite saying don't be shy, because I actually wanted to hurt that guy. He came through the door, so I could have used HE, but I didn't anticipate him coming through the door. I didn't think he was going to do that. Anyway, he's around the map somewhere. It's the end of the game, realistically. The Pantera's got him. We take 2 kills. We do just over 4,000 damage. We bounce 1,090. It's not a bad rollout in the Emil II, and just goes to show the testament of how good the tank is. That, my friends, is only a 2nd class. Not even good enough for a 1st class, despite doing over 4k in damage. And that is because this tank is stonkingly good. So that's the Emil II. We do top damage in the team there, as you can see. We had a good rollout. And that, as I said, is what the Emil II is more incapable of doing. So that's the Emil II, the Tier 9 European line heavy tank. It's a beautiful tank, and as you can see, it's the best performing win rate rise for the tier. And it's a tech tree. Plus, did I mention it comes with PBR textures, which is nice. Anyway, I've been Fugit. That has been the Emil II. By all means, comment in everything below. I did this video because Minifugit, my lad, said that nobody's really done one on the Emil II apart from one particular YouTuber he doesn't like to watch. So hopefully that's going to be interesting to a few of you out there. And anyway, guys, until the next time, I'll say my usual stuff. Stay safe out there. Have fun on the battlefield and happy tanking. Because at the end of the day, that really is what it's all about. Having fun and being happy.